F1 Manager 24, the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix. Yes, we're here. It's round number 7 of the 2025 season in this F1 Manager 24 Grid Changes Every Race series. Now, before we get started with this one, I'm not really going to talk over what upgrades I'm putting on the car here, just a few little projects here and there and just some manufacturing of parts. But there's not been a video for a couple of months almost on the channel here. I do apologize for that. I was away on holiday for 3 weeks, and then well, even before that, I've been having problems with my Moser wheel and pedals. That is why you haven't seen an F125 video in a long time. I'm currently getting a new parts shipped over to me to hopefully fix my pedals, because yeah, the issue I'm having with those means that I basically can't use them at the moment. So yeah, unfortunately no F125 videos until that is hopefully fixed. So I'm going to try and get some F1 Manager videos out for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long it's going to be until that is fixed. So yeah, I do apologize for that. We've only done 3 videos on F125 so far, which is really annoying. I want to keep playing that game. But yeah, unfortunately, my pedals are pretty much unusable. Like, I just can't use them at the moment. I press the brake pedal and it just like locks on like halfway, and yeah, just is pretty much unusable. So that is why there's no F125 videos at the moment, but they will hopefully be back soon once hopefully that is fixed. So we're going to be doing F1 Manager for a little while. If I can speak, which we've had a little bit of a break from, just because I wanted to be doing the F125 videos, but that hasn't been working out. So here in Q1, both Williams, both Audis, and one of the Alpines out. By the way, I forgot to record the current grid for this race. I actually recorded this video just before F125 came out, so it's been a month or so, almost 2 months since I recorded this video. I just haven't got around to editing it because I wanted to be doing the F125 stuff, but that hasn't been working out either. And yeah, I forgot to go through, like I usually do, you know, what drivers in each team, because if you know this series, the drivers change each race based off their championship position. Out in Q2, Van Dorn in the Mercedes, both Hasses, one of the Red Bulls of Zhou Guanyu, and I believe that was the other Alpine. Now, as we get into Q3, both our drivers are in Q3, Hulkenberg and Albon, and at the moment, after the first Q3 run, Hulkenberg is sitting P4, Albon sitting P7, so looking pretty decent so far. I mean, this car, on R&D, we're only like the 7th quickest car, but when you actually look at the performance, kind of when you look on the home menu in the cars, the performance, it says we're like the 5th or 6th, like the 5th and 6th fastest car/driver combo for this race, which basically means we're like the 3rd best team. So I don't know what that's about. It doesn't really seem to, you know, relate to the R&D performance chart, but hey, I will for sure take that. Hulkenberg is on a faster lap here, currently in P4. He is going green, and it's going pretty well for him at the moment as he rounds the final corner, the long banked corner, final corner of Zandvoort, to come back onto the front straight to set his quick time for Q3. He crosses the line. He goes P3 at this current point in time, and he stays P3. Albon unfortunately drops down to P8. It is Oscar Piastri in the Red Bull who will start from pole position for this Dutch Grand Prix, ahead of Yuki Tsunoda in P2 for the McLaren. Both Ferraris P9 and 10, so not the best qualifying session for them, but our drivers are P3 and P8 respectively, with Hulkenberg and Albon. Let's see what we can do for this Dutch Grand Prix.
It's a tremendous atmosphere once again here in Zandvoort, with 72 laps awaiting the drivers here today.
Zandvoort's highly banked corners make it one of the more unusual Grand Prix circuits. Dutch driver Max Verstappen won with a dominant lead here in 2021, driving the home fans to a frenzy as he did.
To carry speed through the steep banking of Zandvoort, teams will need to be loading downforce onto their cars this weekend. Zandvoort has the 2nd shortest lap time of the whole F1 season. The track tolerates no mistakes. Tension continues to build here as race day begins.
Right, so we're ready here, and it is wet. It is very wet. It's looking like intermediate tyres for the entirety of the race, so It's going to be a fully wet session, so let's see what our drivers can do here. Yeah, this could be interesting, could be chaos, so let's go.
Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. There's a lot of talk about that man, Nico Hülkenberg.
They're up in P3, which is a terrific grid position for them. What can they manage here, I wonder?
But remember, anything can happen in Formula One. Here we go. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Here we go, Dutch Grand Prix time. Piastri gets a decent start. Tsunoda, a pretty good start as well, though. As we go into turn 1, Piastri is in the lead, and it's actually Hülkenberg having a go at Tsunoda in through turn 1. He's side by side with the Japanese driver, trying to get up into second place, and he's done it. Great start for Hülkenberg in our V-Carb. Albon looks like he's still sat back there in P8, but it is a great start for our other driver. Piastri already kind of going off in the lead a little bit here. Great start for him. There's an Aston Martin and a Mercedes side by side. That is Carlos Sainz, the champion from season 1 2024, last time out. He is in P4, and he's just gotten ahead of George Russell in the Aston Martin. So that's a good start for our defending champion here, up into P4. Albon still currently P8. He hasn't made any positions at the start of this race, but it's a great start for Hülkenberg. However, he doesn't quite have the pace to keep up with Yuki Tsunoda, and the tyres are actually warming up a bit too much here. Perhaps not quite enough rain for these intermediate tyres, because yeah, the tyres are very hot at this point in time. Even though Hülkenberg is struggling a little bit at the front, Albon is making positions. He has now got himself up into P7, past the other Aston Martin car. I don't believe that's George Russell. I think that is the other Aston Martin. As we now have a look at the track details, because yeah, this is the rain. As you can see, the track kind of gonna dry out, then get wet, dry out, get wet. It's kind of staying at this awkward point where it's, yeah, not really drying out, but not quite, you know, absolutely bucketing down, as Albon makes another position, this time on Pierre Gasly in the second McLaren car. Norris was the Aston Martin that he got past earlier, by the way. And Albon is really on a roll here. Hülkenberg has been overtaken by Tsunoda, but Albon is moving forward. He's now going to try going round the outside of George Russell in the Aston Martin round turn 1. He's side by side with him round the next corner, and he's on the inside for the next left-hander. What a move for Albon. He is absolutely flying at the start of this race, although Albon will use some battery and get back past him down that little wiggly sort of section there. But great battling there between Albon and Russell. He is really trying to make his way forward, as Russell's going to be one of the first drivers, I believe the first driver, into the pits. Just wanted to see what tyres he was going to go onto, and it is another set of intermediates for him. So definitely still not anywhere near dry enough for dry tyres, but it is this really awkward spot as Liam Lawson in the Ferrari seems to be struggling. He is towards the back of the championship on points in the Driver Championship at the moment. Another driver struggling here as well is Zhou Guanyu in the Red Bull. He goes for a spin, and that is very unfortunate for him. Thankfully, he keeps it out of the wall, but yeah, that's really going to curtail his race a little bit. Piastri now trying to fight back through again after going for a pit stop. He gets himself back past Yuki Tsunoda. Hülkenberg is currently leading this race. Tsunoda trying to come back at Piastri though, and it's a great battle between these two. Hülkenberg is up front. Piastri gets pushed onto the grass a little bit there. Very unfortunate there, but he manages to stay just about on track. As yeah, Hülkenberg still hasn't pitted yet, but leading this race with the two actual effective race leaders of Tsunoda and Piastri now getting past. Tsunoda gets past Hülkenberg, back up into the lead of this race, and then just next lap around, Piastri will make a move on Hülkenberg as well, but there's no point of Hülkenberg fighting this too hard because, like I said, he has not pitted yet. The other two cars have, so that is a good move there for Oscar Piastri to now get up into second position. Ricciardo in the other Ferrari, currently battling with Zhou Guanyu, who, yeah, had that spin earlier on. And now Ricciardo is going to go for a spin of his own. Very scary little moment there. Just while we were watching him, he went for that spin. We now see a replay on board with Ricciardo, just goes for a spin there, keeps it out of the wall, but that is very unfortunate for him, as now Albon is going to be our first driver into the pits for a set of intermediate tyres. We've gone later than pretty much everybody else, and next lap around Hulkenberg will come into two pretty good pit stops for the team there, 2.4 and a 2.5 I believe that was, so two good pit stops, and we'll see where that puts our cars. Liam Lawson still struggling a bit in that Ferrari. He taps a car just coming out of turn 1 a little bit there. No real damage I don't think there, but maybe a little bit of side pod damage, a little bit of floor damage for Lawson, so not having the best race in that Ferrari, unfortunately for him. Albon currently in P9, he's got Sergio Perez ahead of him, not anymore, he's now managed to get past Perez up into P8. There is a difference in tyre ages going on here, so that is something to keep in mind, as now Albon going for a move on Norris. Albon is making a lot of moves in this race, up the inside of the Aston Martin for the second time this race, and then next time around he's going for a move on, I think that's Gasly again in the other McLaren, who really seems to be struggling here compared to his teammate Tsunoda. Gasly not doing a great job at the moment because Albon has gotten past him. Then we have George Russell in the other Aston Martin, currently fighting with, I think that's Carlos Sainz, and unfortunately he just locks up, goes straight on. Thankfully doesn't catch Sainz, doesn't go into the back of Sainz. Speaking of Sainz, here he is, and he is now going to go for a spin as well, so a lot of drivers struggling with these wet conditions. Now lap 48 of 72, Tsunoda's now coming in for his second pit stop onto another set of inters, but it's a slow stop on the front right for Tsunoda. That could cost him in this race. He was currently leading the race, however I believe Piastri had already come into the pits. Now Hulkenberg battling with is that one of the Mercedes or one of the Aston Martins? I think that's a Mercedes. Perhaps Sainz again? I'm not 100% sure, but that's Hulkenberg up another position, I believe it was. However, now Hulkenberg seems to have an issue. He's got an ERS issue, a moderate fault on the ERS. That could definitely hamper his ability here. Currently in P3, as now the two leaders, Piastri and Tsunoda, about to go into battle once again. Tsunoda up the inside of Piastri into turn 1. He gets the move done as there is now a yellow flag out. Looks like there's been a crash by someone as Tsunoda takes the lead of this race. Let's have a look at what happened here. It's Liam Lawson again. He has not been having a good time through turn 1. He goes and just makes a tiny little bit of contact with one of the Hasses. It's actually not massive damage there. I don't really see that being a massive issue for any of the drivers there, but seems bad enough that the Ferrari team members are scampering around to see what's gone on, as we still have the battle on lap 55 between Tsunoda and Piastri. This time Piastri gets past, I assume, with a better exit and with battery, and that puts Piastri back up into the lead of this race. I believe Piastri is dead last in the championship at the moment, so this would be a big result for him if he could win this race. Now Carlos Sainz is showing some good pace on, I believe, newer tyres. He is now going for a move up the inside of Albon. Currently our drivers are P3 and P4. Albon does a great job of defending the position though from Sainz, manages to stay ahead of him. However, it's next lap or so later that Sainz is going to this time go around the outside of turn 1 and make a beautiful move on Albon. That gets him up, 10 laps to go. He's now got to try and catch up to Hulkenberg. However, at the front, Piastri currently leading, Tsunoda in second. Tsunoda locks up the brakes into turn 1 and goes straight into the back of the race leader. The top two in this race have crashed into each other. That is big news for this race. The two leaders coming together, Piastri and Tsunoda. That's going to put them both into the pits. Tsunoda's going to come in first. He also has a penalty, a 5-second penalty, I believe, to serve because of that contact. And he's going to have a change of tyres and a change of front wing. That's going to pretty much put Tsunoda out of the picture. Piastri still leads the way at the moment, but I don't know what sort of damage he has. I assume he's going to have some, diffuser damage or some rear wing damage or something. And sure enough, lap 64 of 72, Piastri's coming into the pits for a pit stop. I assume to fix damage and maybe put some new tyres on. And that's going to mean Hulkenberg now takes the lead of this Dutch Grand Prix with only a handful of laps, 7 laps to go. Hulkenberg now leads with Sainz in second, 3.5 seconds back, and Albon in third, another now 6.5 seconds back, because Sainz is absolutely flying, and on lap 69 of 72, 3 laps to go, there's nothing Hulkenberg can do. Carlos Sainz, after going for a spin midway through the race, is going to take the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Now the two McLarens are going to start battling each other. Tsunoda now trying to get past his teammate. Tsunoda's been a lot better than Gasly this race, and is now even trying to get past him after serving that penalty and doing an extra pit stop.
It's a win for Sainz.
There'll be celebrations tonight after a performance like that. They've done themselves and the team proud.
And it's another win for Carlos Sainz in the Mercedes, the championship winner from Season 1. He wins the race in Zandvoort.
Onto the podium steps Nico Hulkenberg. He absolutely smashed that.
It gets even better for the team, with both drivers scoring a podium finish this weekend.
A sea of smiles all around. They're on top of the world here in Zandvoort.
And it's a great result for RB as well. We get both our drivers on the podium. Hulkenberg P2, Albon P3, massively inherited there because of the collision between Tsunoda and Piastri. If it had stayed as it was, like if Piastri and Tsunoda hadn't collided, it would have probably have been those two 1 and 2, and Sainz would have probably got us for P3, because he ended up almost 4 seconds ahead of Hulkenberg in the end, and we wouldn't have had either driver on the podium. But as it turned out, we had both drivers on the podium, so that worked out very well for us. But it is Carlos Sainz, 2024 champion from last season, who wins this Dutch Grand Prix. And in the Drivers' Championship, that actually means he now takes the lead of the championship once again here. So he is now leading the 2025 championship after winning the 2024 championship. Ocon is P2, Hulkenberg and Albon have now jumped up to P3 and P4 respectively. So that is very good. And Oscar Piastri, unfortunately, even though he does still pick up 6 points, he is still dead last, P20 in the championship. Yuki Tsunoda P17. He does manage to beat Oscar Piastri even after punting him off the track, so that actually worked out somewhat for him in that way, although he could have won the race. And McLaren are leading the championship still. However, it is our RB, our team, who take the most points away from this weekend, currently in P3. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.